Yeah, and we came to our destination where our studio is located. It's in Prague, it's quite nearby. Hello to everybody, thank you for having us here. I just want to introduce ourselves. I'm Marek.
And I'm Jan, and we are designers from the studio Oficina.
Yes, and it's multidisciplinary studio. That means that it's quite hard to describe what we do, but we do a lot of motion design and interactive stuff as well. And this interactive stuff includes a lot of collaborations with scientists of many fields. I cannot say just many, but few of them.
Yes, sometimes we do mainly client-based work, and sometimes we are lucky enough that scientific or cultural institutions approach us to visualize their content, which is what we do like to do the most.
Yeah, because I think it's quite important to introduce science or knowledge to the audience through the way they can easily understand and they can even play with it. So this is the case of this Planet Prague project, interactive projection, which was like an application of the film Planet Prague about the biosphere of Prague city, which is surprisingly living and full of life and different species. And so the people were allowed to uncover this real footage in created landscapes in Unity with the handles, with the controllers. Yeah.
One of these wonderful clients are Camp, for example, and this is part of an exhibition on Prague, which you can still attend until the end of this year. We recommend it not just because of the interesting way how you can interact with digital content, but also because you can learn a lot about biodiversity in the city, and you can uncover the hidden. Presenting science that we have been lucky to do was also here in Prague in the year
2018, and it was strategic plan for the city. That means where the city will invest its money in the next decade, where to invest in which fields, and how it will influence how its city will look like, which is not very visual. It's a lot of data, a lot of texts, and it's not easy to represent these things to audience. So we were asked to do that somehow, and it should be somehow fun, but it shouldn't be like simplified too much because it's quite complex problem. And
sorry, you can actually interact. It's live.
Yeah, that's important that it still works. So now you can play it, and you see these 4 fields you can invest in. There's education. There's mobility, traffic. There's building and housing and culture. Yeah, and all these fields are connected together. So it will influence how the city will react, not react, will live and prosper. No, I don't know.
Yes, because there are 2 goals: how to explain such complex thing as a strategic plan, and we wanted to, or the Center for Architecture wanted to communicate that there are many fields that are interconnected. If you change something in one field, it has an impact in another field, and there was also another goal to make it as open to any age category as possible. We were sorry, we were researching how to interact with the digital content for a long time, and we decided that the best way would be to use analog controls, such as cubes or handles, and the cubes were an amount, where it was representing an amount of a certain type of object in the projection, and putting cubes on the table changed or made.
Yeah, and it represented like a unit for traffic or unit for building or housing. Yeah, so this brick was like a, let's say, it wasn't easy because it was not directly money, not directly house, but the percentage, how much you want to invest in. And so you couldn't like, you can fill all the table with the units, but it will, it's not the best solution. So you have to balance it. So you then was even important to hide some of them and to put them out of the table. And for the children it was nice because it was not necessary to look at the projection. They just could play with it. If they were really small, they just could play with the bricks and it still influenced the projection. So it was the task that we were like supposed to come up with something which is not completely dependent on the interactive projection or on the projection.
Yes. So you would put a cube on the table.
I will try it again.
Yes. You would put the cube on the table, and here the car would appear, and it's really inclusive, and it have many different layers of communication, and if you are interested, you can dive deeper, but if you just want to play, you can just play with the cubes. You doesn't necessarily have to interact with the digital layer.
You cancelled my game again.
Sorry. But we don't do only interactive projections. Because we are mainly a motion design studio, sometimes we do explainer videos, which we really like. Two of the examples are videos explaining science for microbiology.
Reactor? It's an alga reactor.
Yes, it's explaining how photobioreactor works and what are the advantages of growing alga and how it can be used.
Yeah, in a science, in a food, and everything. You know, it's really like a universal material. Yeah, very useful and very healthy. And then we explained and visualized the most important battle in our history. It's a battle on a White Mountain, which affected our history very much because we were then part of the Austrian Empire for next 400 years. It happened in the 17th century, and yeah, it was what was interesting on that was it was in a real scale for the first time. It was in a real scale on a real terrain with the colonel, with the real colonel and historian. So it should be most precise simulation of this battle because it was happening in a real time scale, and we were even changing some position of the units on the terrain because they found out due to that terrain that the previous simulations were not okay, or how to say it, they were there were some mistakes.
An interesting fact about this video is that it was actually created in a software called Houdini, which is for mathematical simulation and procedurally generated graphics.
Yeah, but it's quite useful. I mean, it can be developed in Unity as well, but that was a kind of originally we wanted just to do an animation, but it became like a real simulation. So in the end, it was quite a huge scene, and particles were like acting as soldiers, and it was quite a fun. But yeah.
So it doesn't have to be created in Houdini, but
it shouldn't.
Yes, and as it was mentioned, one of our amazing clients was Signal Festival, because we were creating visuals identity for the festival for 5 years.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, because we thought we used all the ideas, and now it's for someone else.
Yeah, but this is why we are showing this is because it's somehow connected with the previous with the scientific team, because this issue, or let's say the year of the 2018 was the year of the Republic, 100 year of the Czech Republic.
And the theme of the signal was 100 years to the future.
Yeah, so our idea was to plant a seed that year that would grow next 100 years. And we thought, everybody would do that manually in the garden, of course, but we can do it in a virtual space as well. So we come up with a branch with a seed, which is a part of the L system, which is maybe some of you know. It's a system how it's tree grown is represented in an algorithm. So you could, and it was quite easy for the audience to create such a seed, because on the cell phone you can unlock this with like an unlock gesture. You can create this simple seed, then you can submit it, and it looks immediately like this, which is like a small tree, or let's say coral reef part or something like that, and you can plant it into virtual space too, and name it with your name, and there's a garden of these trees, or this let's say coral reef, or digital coral reef, which would grow next 100 years. But it was just an idea.
It would contain DNA of each visitor. Plan was to put it here, and it could be like a huge coral reef full of these corals.
And it plays the music. It played the music. We don't have it now here, but yeah.
And different song for different DNA for different person. And we created this prototype, and then we realized that it wouldn't be unfortunately possible to do it with the signal. So if you would be interested to explore it furthermore somewhere else, it's possible, it's free. But we used this system as an inspiration for the visual style, for the other materials, and we created, or Marek created this.
Maybe we have to hurry up.
No, it's not. No problem.
Go to the next. It's similar. Then the next slide.
We used it as an inspiration for the visual style, which was used in the main theme and all the materials. And it was actually also created in Houdini, so you can do things like metal simulation or things like growth simulation. This procedural software.
Yeah, and we use it somehow in our design practice. What we discover during these processes, even on scientific field, we use it somehow when we've got possibility in design practice, like this book edition, which we every year we do like 3 book covers for this Rubato edition. This is one is based on Chladni pattern. This is a visualization of chapter order. This is a fluid simulation, and others like a reaction diffusion fractal, and so on, and growth here as well. So we can go there.
So everything is complex program. Some of these things are made in Houdini. Everything could be animated, but we use it as an inspiration to create printed graphics. And it's actually amazing to see it huge here because the books are this size.
Hey you! AI you! Can you help me out, please?
Sure.
I need you to find the best speakers for MOVO 2023.
Just give me a second, okay? Max capacity now.
It seems like you forgot something.
Okay, sorry.
So we don't use AI very much because it's something that it's the most fun. It's a fun part to create things, and we don't want to lose it. But it was the only one probably occasion when we use it, just for this short moment in the MOVO intro opening sequence.
Yes, and the scene that you have just seen is an intro for our conference that we together with lots of talented people around the Oficina studio and our friends are hosting here in Prague each year, and we invite a lot of talented people like are here, and for the last 2 years we are interested in the theme of AI. And so this video is our approach to visualize
him,
the actual,
or her,
yes,
or it,
the actual state of the AI as we imagine it.
It was a time when the ChatGPT came out and everybody was chatting with him. So we imagined that it's a guy who is using Google browser as us, or yeah, and it's still the same probably. I think
so we don't have to be afraid. If you want, you can write us a message on this address. And
or question, something like that.
yes,
Anything.
or send us a question, but the resolution is so ludicrous that I think better would be to ask. So,
yeah, but it's possible. So, thank you very much for your attention.
if you have any questions, we have 1 minute and 50 seconds.
Okay, so thank you so much. We'll have later a panel session. So I think we'll do it like we did before, with Q&As, skipped, and all your questions that we collect through Slido. We have them, and some of those questions will be also asked during panel session after 3 talks before the keynote. So yeah, thank you so much for this really inspiring presentation and amazing visual materials.